everyone! So I am back like I promised with my second video that I've been excited about, and I'm even more excited now that I waited because I had therapy and I got to talk to my therapist about my realization, and it helped me kind of expand on what I wanted to say in the first place. I also wrote down a list of things so I don't lose track of my thoughts, which I probably will still manage to do somehow. But I also recently had a really deep conversation with a new person for the first time in a really long time. And I forgot how nice it feels to be able to kind of just establish a deep kind of conversation going with a new human. Because I feel like it's so infrequent that that happens. And I've been meeting so many new people, so it's always like short, small talk and kind of a superficial level. And I don't love superficial conversations. Because they feel like a waste of energy and time. Like if it's not going anywhere, like, I don't know. Something I was telling a coworker the other day is that I'm trying not to say, how are you? As much to people because it's such an instinct. We all do it. We walk past someone, you say, hey, how are you? And you keep walking. You don't even listen for the answer. Like it's so superficial and it's so irrelevant. Like it's just a way to say hello basically now. People are like, hey, how are you? Good, and you? Like you don't even need to be good. It's just instinct to say. And so I'm trying to avoid doing that because I'm like, okay, well, if I want to talk to someone, like I want the conversation to go somewhere. So saying, hey, how are you is just going to end with good and you. And then they're going to say good and that's it. You're done. So I'm trying to say that less because I'm trying to be less superficial with my conversations with people and a little bit more authentic. But anyway, this is a little bit off topic. Why I came on here and why this whole topic started is because I watched my vlogs from when I first started doing them 4 years ago, like back with Taylor. And I watched some of those videos and first of all, I was so weird. I still am weird, but now I care a little bit more about the person that I'm projecting. Also, a significant difference in how I looked. Because back then, I refused to go on camera without a full face of makeup, without fake eyelashes, without my hair being like straightened and done, without being dressed up. Like I very rarely was ever on camera when I did not look the part. And I don't even really recognize that version of myself. And I actually didn't really like how I looked in those videos, which was interesting because that's how I used to dress to impress. And then I started to realize that I was dressing to impress a society that I thought I needed to fit into because I was basically projecting a version of myself that I thought I was supposed to be and not just allowing myself to kind of be the authentic version of myself and figure out what that was. And then I watched my video from January 1st this year, and I didn't even process until now that that was when I started my self journey in figuring out who I really am and who I want to be and who I want to project myself as. I didn't even really realize that I started that process so long ago. I thought that was more recent. But I watched that video and I was wearing a XXL winter jacket, men's. I had like my earmuffs. My hair was like curly and tied back. I didn't have like makeup. Like, I didn't look as nice in a sense, but I looked better in my opinion, if that makes any sense. But why I think that is not because I physically looked better, but because while I was more extroverted and looked happier on the outside back when I was doing those first vlogs and participating in more things and just like going out and partying more, I didn't look nearly as happy as I did in that first video because inside I was so happy and it was just genuine and I was real and I was me and I was content with it and I was just shamelessly myself. And so watching that video made me really happy. And it's cool because now I can kind of see the difference. Because I was even like scrolling through people's social media, and it's really intriguing to me how you can see how genuine someone can look in a photo and how fake they can look in a photo. Like, you could be posing because you were told to pose or you thought that's what you should do, or it can just be kind of a candid photo. And candids are my favorite. My favorite photos of myself ever are photos when people capture me genuinely laughing, like something stupid happened and I'm just like laughing and someone captures that moment. It's never like the prettiest photo. However, I feel like that's the only time that I get the opportunity to see myself, or a glimpse of myself, the way that others see. Like, you're your own worst critic. I know that, and it's definitely true for me. I wish I could see myself the way that others see me, because the way that other people describe me sounds a lot better than how I feel. But when I see photos of me laughing, like, I can't help but smile, because I'm like, wow, so that's what people see. Like, that's the energy that I give off. Like, I get a lot of compliments on my energy and like my aura and my smile. So I just love those photos, because I feel like I finally get to taste a little bit of what others think of me and see of me. And I like that person. I could never, I see so many photos of people posed all like elegantly and like straight faced, and they like are smoldering and they look all like sexy, and I cannot be taken seriously, so I struggle to do that. Even just straight face photos, I'm not very good at. I love laughing photos, it's just my thing. And it's funny too, because when I'm serving at the keg, I've been serving for like 4 months now, and I get so many compliments on my smile, but I've also been told like 5 times by different guests, hey, you really remind me of my dentist. You really look like my cousin. Oh my God, you sound just like blah, blah. You really remind me of blah. You know, I've been told that so much throughout my entire life, but the fact that it happened like 5 times while serving is wild to me. And I always tell people, I'm like, oh, I must just have like a familiar face, or like maybe my like symmetry is just like compatible with a lot of other people, or I have a million other doppelgangers walking around the world looking just like me. I don't know. But I have a new theory on it, because it's always in a positive way too. Like, it's always like, oh, you remind me of this person, and like they're smiling while saying it, so it's like a happy connection. It's never like, oh my God, you remind me of that bitch, you know? It's always like a good thing. And so my theory on that is, because I grew up mirroring everyone else, and whatever energy you give me, I give you right back, because you like your own energy, obviously. So if I just mirror that, you're gonna like me. And I was so terrified of not being liked that it was just easier to mirror everyone else. I'm like, okay, well, I can be a little bit of you and you and you and you, and then I have no idea who I am. But I was so good at doing that because I had always done that. So I'm wondering if I mirror my table's energy, and so I just remind them of someone that they're close with, or that whatever, for whatever reason, I'm kind of mirroring a familiar energy to them. I don't know, but helpful in the customer service industry when tips are involved. So I will take it. That's all good. And my coworkers at the keg too, a lot of them, it's like, you're always smiling. Why are you so happy? Like, you're serving and you're just smiling. And I'm like, I don't know. And it just makes me laugh when people say that, because I feel like even though I smile so frequently, I am not the happiest person in the world. Like, I always said I was the happiest depressed person, because I refuse to walk around looking sad. Like, I don't know, as soon as I see another human, I smile. It's just in my nature. It's just what I do. So I'm glad that people think that I'm super happy. That makes me content. I was about to say that makes me happy, but switched it up a little bit with the vocab there. But yeah, I don't know. So being happy is cool. And this all basically is rolling into my overall topic, which is my identity. So the thing is that I have come to realize, we'll go with that, is I had thought that when I stopped everything dance, I stopped Red Blacks, I stopped teaching, I stopped dancing, stopped choreographing, like I stopped everything dance, I thought I had lost my identity. And that's what I kept telling people. And they would always be like, okay, well, just go like try new things, you know, like figure out like who you are, what you like, that kind of thing. And I just kept saying, I'm like, I lost my identity. Like, dance was my social life. It was my job. It was my passion. It was my hobby. It was literally like everything in my life. Like, when you think about how someone describes you to someone that doesn't know you, if someone were to do that with me, like 9 times out of 10, dance is going to come up. You're gonna be like, oh, Miranda, yeah, she's a dancer. Oh, she was on Team Canada, Red Blacks. She teaches dance. She is a dancer. Like, that's just what the identifier was that went with me. So I didn't lose my identity. I lost my identifier, or at least my main one, because it was such a huge part of my life. And so then I stopped feeling like I had any other identifiers, and that's what made me feel like I lost my identity. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked. I've been a people pleaser and a mirror my entire life, and now the one thing that I like committed my everything into was no longer in my life. Yeah, so I felt like my world was kind of like flipped upside down, and I also just had so much extra time to wallow in this like hole where my identity used to be. But I've come to realize now that I did not lose my identity. And I did fall back on my progress, because in those first 4 months of me figuring out myself, when I first started vlogging like all the time, I was thriving. I was walking all the time. I was talking to less people, spending a lot of time on my own, doing things that I wanted, going to the store. I was less frugal, less stressed about money, less stressed about life, just living in the moment and enjoying whatever I wanted to do. I was skating, I was exercising, I was, you know, like I was thriving in those first 4 months and just really in tune with this new identity that I had created for myself, this new person that I allowed myself to become. And then when I lost all of the dance from my life, I didn't know what to do with myself anymore. And I let myself just kind of shrink everything down. I no longer cared about the things that I used to. I used to draw, I used to write, I used to exercise, like all of these things that I used to do all the time, I just stopped doing. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't know what I was interested in. I didn't know what to do or how to move forward. And I would research it for so long. And you cannot research how to find your identity without just getting out there and trying to figure it out. And then I got a new job. And then I started playing volleyball, and I started meeting new people and doing new things. I started taking dance classes from a different lens. I got back into writing. I'm exploring all these different things that I enjoy. And the reason I think I lost my identity at that time wasn't necessarily because I lost dance, but I lost something that I fully committed to and I fully identified as. And now I realize I don't have just one identity. There are so many versions of myself. There's the athletic version of myself that loves playing volleyball and doing sports and being active. There is the nature girl version of myself that loves going on hikes and nature walks and animals and feeding the birds. There is the girly part of me that does like to dress up on occasion and do my hair and makeup. There is the tomboy version of myself that likes just hanging with the guys. Like, I don't have one identity. I have several. I am the definition of jack of all trades, master of none. And that was what I was struggling with, because before I knew dance like the back of my hand, and I was committed to that lifestyle that I didn't really care to explore anything else. And now that I do, I like to dabble in a lot of different things, but I don't fully commit to anything anymore. And that makes it hard because I don't just have one identifier that's super strong and everyone knows about. I have a bunch of little ones. And that's really cool because now I have the opportunity to get to know a lot of different kinds of people, because each different person that I used to mirror. I used to mirror an athlete so I would be athletic. I used to mirror a girly girl so I would be more girly. I used to mirror the guy so I would be more tomboyish. And now I've come to realize that those parts of me are just literally parts of me. So I don't need to mirror them anymore. I'm not a full tomboy. I'm not a full girly girl. I'm not a full athletic girl. I'm not, I am a little bit of all of it. And that was a huge realization for me because I've been trying to pigeonhole myself into a labeled box. I've been trying to label my sexuality, my identity, my hobbies. Like, I've been trying to label everything. And I don't fit into a single damn label. And I said that a long time ago in one of my vlogs, that I just don't choose to identify as these labels because I don't fit into them and I don't feel like I'm just one thing. So that's my identity. I didn't lose it. I just changed it and changed my perspective. And I hope that I didn't talk too much in circles here. I know I kind of was all over the map on identity and identifiers and everything. But all in all, I'm basically just saying that I've been given a new perspective on myself, and I'm really looking forward to continuing this journey. And now that I have a much more positive view of my future and who I'm going to become, I'm really excited to continue video journaling because I'll be able to express this. And the fact that I post it for the world to see, not that anyone watches this. I know some people do, I still have a couple views here and there, but it's just the fact that anyone on this planet could watch this if they wanted to. It keeps me more motivated to continue, to find more things to talk about, to find more things to learn about, to help shape who I am. So I guess that's all I really wanted to say. I'm sure I missed a bunch of things, but hey, I'm committing to this whole video journaling thing for now, so hope you're not gonna get too sick of me.